Jazz and Beyond on 702 and Cape Talk with me, Nothemba. And of course, it is that time. You know, we get to speak to the most amazing artists on this show. And today I am happy to tell you that our guest is the son of the soil. I'm talking about a musician who has traveled the world. And not only that, from the days of the apartheid struggle, and he's gone to the stages of the world and to LA in the USA. I'm talking about a pianist, a composer, a film scorer, and award-winning one for that matter. You might be familiar with the name Rashid Lanie. He is back in the country. We'll find out why. We'll find out if it's here for good, or maybe he's, still doing his globe trotting. But he's here, and I'm so glad that I'm having this opportunity to have a conversation with him because he has offered so much to this country in terms of his artistry and his contribution to the arts, not only as a musician, but in the films that we get to watch, and also performances at around the world, and also guesting and also performing with some of the big names on the world scene. Rashid Lanie, how are you?
Hey, Nothemba.
How are you doing?
So happy to be here.
I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to be here, and
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're no longer talking online. You're physically here.
I know. Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know whether should I say welcome back home. What should I say?
um, uh, well, I have been coming back home.
Yeah.
Uh, for the most part, I've spent uh, between 4 to 6 months at home.
Mm.
Sometimes it's been longer than that. But when it was longer, we usually would be involved in a movie production.
Yeah.
And so I'd be sort of under the radar and not very active as a performer.
Mm.
Uh, and But my intention right now is to finally make the official return home. And the only thing that's timing that return is the fact that I was a victim of the wildfires in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, there are so many affairs of mine that I need to attend to. My insurances and governmental, and then also lawsuits that have taken place because of government negligence.
Mm.
And so I have to return to tie all of those affairs up.
I didn't want to start there, but we're here already
Yeah,
in terms
it's
of
okay.
tell me about that experience because we were watching on television, the LA fires, and we were watching all these houses, these magnificent houses
I've been
burn in into ash.
Yeah, so to be honest, I was actually in South Africa when it was happening. I was watching in horror what was
Oh
happening
my
while I was
goodness.
here.
Yeah.
And so when I returned there, there was so many things. That sort of I had to rewind, and because moving among the people that actually went through it physically,
Mm.
sort of I absorbed the trauma,
Yeah.
and then and that trauma was enhanced or amplified by all my things that were burnt and things that that I lost. And unfortunately, when I came, so much of the disaster had already been sort of tended to by the first respondent
Emergency services. Mm.
services, yes. And so when I got there, you'd sort of, ride through sort of, and in fact, there were many places you were not allowed to walk through or even
Mm.
drive through.
Mm.
But they did open it up if you had a certain permit that you had to apply for. And so it was like, you're going to a dystopian, driving through a
Sure.
dystopian,
So
like,
did your house, the whole house burn
yeah,
down?
yeah, yeah. No,
I can't,
and so I
because
didn't own a
I'm
house, but I
oh,
rented. I
oh,
rented.
rented a
Yeah, and
place.
so all my equipment, musical equipment, studio.
Ooh, that's the
I'm
first
so-
thing that
yeah,
came to
yeah. I
my
mean,
mind.
all. I mean, yeah. So it was all burnt and but um, and maybe it's the word and the government, the response from FEMA, which is the organization that responds to disasters in the U.S.
Mm.
Um, uh, they were very strong in their response to the disaster, as well as charity organizations
Mm.
and so many community organizations that came
Yes.
to the aid of people that were
Yeah.
affected by the
Mm.
by the fires. And so, oh my gosh, I mean, I was overwhelmed. We were basically
Mm.
overwhelmed with the amount of services that are available to the victims of that disaster. I
Okay.
mean, literally, people are replacing, sending in, old equipment that they're not using, musical equipment, so you can
So you can
apply to them, and
continue.
then you
Yeah.
can replace some of the stuff that you've lost.
Mm.
I mean, there are people who've got financial grants, huge financial grants. I mean, there's um, clothing, there's food. I mean, that you can get. I mean, every week. I
Yeah.
mean, so the assistance
The,
was phenomenal. I
at a
mean, and the response
at a
was phenomenal.
community
Yeah,
level
but
as well.
but
Mm.
there are class action lawsuits. I mean, that are in place right now
Okay.
that require my participation,
Okay.
and I mean, to be there and to like legally represent myself. I mean,
Mm.
as a victim of what had happened.
Of what had happened.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, so that by and large is the reason why so many things that I'm doing now is sort of, I mean, paused or in a state of pause.
Okay.
And
In terms
until I
of coming
fix
back
all that,
home.
yeah, exactly. Until I fix all of that, I mean, so
Okay, I understand, and obviously it's probably helped the decision
yeah.
to say let me just go back home.
Actually, that's very interesting
Mm.
because I mean, whenever there's a crisis in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of like a wake up call.
Yeah.
It is a wake up call. But I have to say that, I mean, having traveled back and forth over the years, I mean, my love for South Africa is, I mean, I am eligible to become a citizen of the U.S. I have been for a long time, but I've
Mm.
never wanted to take my citizenship from the U.S.
Mm.
I'm a green card holder, and only because I felt I was betraying my country, South Africa.
Yeah, because you left, at the height of our transition
Yeah, I was exactly
in 1994,
4 years.
and my thing is that uh, just as we having the transition, the work you had done before then was, in the activism, especially using the arts, against apartheid and all that, and then okay, now we are at the
Oh my God,
at
what
the
what
door of it, and there you go,
what an
1990.
amazing recall. From your side, because
Mm,
I was in such a deep um, dilemma. I found myself in a deep dilemma because of all the things you just said right now.
yeah.
That I've been so active in the involvement in, the transition.
Mm,
From apartheid to, the new dispensation. But then this opportunity came, and one of my deepest desires was to study film scoring, writing music for movies. And the
uh-huh.
opportunity came that there's an opening for me, and so I was really caught in this emotional wrestle. I was
I
in
can
an
imagine.
emotional wrestle. Uh, and I said, Rashid, you've been giving, so much already of yourself.
Hmm.
Literally, selflessly.
Mm,
Without. I'm going to work, working at SAMA, the South African Musicians Alliance, without getting paid. For years. I have to give something back to me now, otherwise I'm not going to get it back.
yeah.
Coupled with that, I was offered to start the jazz music department at Wits University.
Mm,
The head of the department, Dr. Mary Rorick, the late Dr. Mary Rorick, offered me the opportunity to do that, but she said that I won't be able to. It's a 7-year contract. And although there were benefits attached to that 7-year contract, would not be able to leave the country.
yes, and then you had this offer, and this is something that you had always desired to do,
Exactly.
and well, I must say we're glad you made that choice
Oh, thank you.
because at the same you still contributed, but in a completely different way,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
And I just want to find out, when you left,
yes.
did you even realize that your work will have such impact?
I mean, I had no. I mean, to be honest, I had no idea. I was so absorbed in being a part with
Mm.
everybody. I mean, that were contributing.
Yeah, and
I mean,
very excited about it.
yes, you know what I mean. I mean that. I mean, I got lost in that
Mm.
process,
Mm.
and as I said, I mean, when I left, part of it was that I was completely, I mean, exhausted.
Yeah.
My energy had been so depleted from giving so much of myself.
Mm. I know. I can see it really impacted you, and um, it was a hard decision to make, and I think a lot of it poured into your art, the way you were feeling about not only the country but just your own personal experiences and how you have to make these decisions around, um, are you being selfish by going, or and leaving everything and thinking of what you personally want to do. But like I say, the decision was, you at the time you obviously didn't know, but the decision was exactly what you needed to make because of the impact you had afterwards.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, in fact, I mean, there were people who were badgering me, and I mean, with throwing out the word that I'm being selfish by leaving at the time that I was leaving. Um, and it was so difficult to hear that.
I can imagine.
I was like, look, I've laid the foundations, and I've helped. In fact, I mean, one of the foundations that I've laid was ensuring that there would be a Standard Bank Jazz Festival. So the Standard Bank Jazz Festival, I mean, and everything about music associated with the Standard Bank is what I have actually, with Mandy van der Spey, week after week, I would sit with her and explain to her how they can transform the Standard Bank in the way that it was under apartheid into the new dispensation.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was to support the arts. And the way Mandy used to sit with me sometimes twice a week, and we spoke about workshops, we spoke about art festivals, we spoke about awards. We did all of these things. You know what I mean? And the Standard Bank Jazz, when I saw that it actually launched, I mean, I was like, I mean, there's an actual physical manifestation
Yeah,
of the work that I did for our
absolutely.
musicians.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, not many people know that. Yeah,
Yes.
Manny van der Spey doesn't speak about it,
Mm.
but she knows that I was there every week. When I first met her, she was such a newbie. She was I mean, such a rookie in every aspect of culture. In South Africa with
Mm.
regard to nation building. And so, if you talk to her now and you remind her about it, she'll tell you the truth because she's never ever mentioned it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, exactly what I'm saying. I mean, for some people also don't know that, you have had awards, you've worked in film, you've done some compositional work that's been amazing.
Oh, thank
For
you.
instance, you're a respected film composer. Because I'm going to ask you, where are you most comfortable at?
Okay, no problem.
Because you did the soundtrack for the amazing movie, Kalushi,
Yes.
the story of
Solomon
Solomon
Mahlangu.
Mahlangu. You've done the Silverton
The Silverton
Siege,
Siege.
Heart of the Hunter. You've won actually you won a SAFTA for
Yes.
the for
Yeah,
for the
for Kalushi.
Kalushi,
Yeah.
and you've also won songwriting competition for Etlatini.
Yes.
You've worked on the 2010 FIFA World Cup celebration concert.
Yeah.
The UNESCO, you performed for UNESCO for Mandela Day
Yes.
celebrations in this. also in, you perform for the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things are still part of what you were doing before you left.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying, pat yourself on the back.
Oh, thank you so much.
Don't feel it. It's just that also sometimes, there's so many ways of doing something. It
Right.
doesn't have to be only, one way only in
Yeah.
terms of contribution. But on that, back to that question of, I mean, you record music, but I'm so glad that you went to study the film scoring and all that because of what. But have you found a comfort zone for yourself that you'd rather be stuck in the studio, composing music that will be visualized, in a movie, or do you still like, you know, being on stage and having the interaction and engagement with
Oh my gosh, it's.
audiences
I mean,
and
it's
with audiences?
that's such a again a challenging and a great question, because I mean one of the people that I modeled myself after,
Mm.
or two of the people was Andre Previn and Dave Grusin.
Okay.
Dave Grusin was a very active jazz pianist and
Mm.
also film scorer,
Yeah.
and so was Bob James, and so was Andre Previn, except that he eventually moved away from jazz. I mean, he was
Mm.
a phenomenal jazz pianist,
Yeah.
and he was classical, but then he became jazz, and then he became a conductor.
Mm.
But those were sort of role models that I mean, you know, that I followed,
Mm.
and later on I found out, I mean, what an incredible film scorer Quincy Jones was. I mean,
Yeah.
he scored over 100 like movies. Yeah, I mean, I
True.
was like, oh
True.
my gosh! And then I found and I listened to his scores, and I was just blown away
Yeah.
by how brilliant Quincy Jones truly was.
Mm.
And when I met him, and in fact, I met him when he came to visit South Africa, the first time he came to South Africa,
Okay.
and I mean, I mean, very humble and just, I mean, just all consuming, I mean, spirit and, I mean, and genius of a man. And then I had an opportunity where through David Foster,
Oh, him.
through
Oh,
David Foster, when I was in Los Angeles, I was offered to produce
you.
a young, I mean, a 13-year-old, I mean, jazz guitar phenomenon,
Mm.
because Quincy wanted David to produce him, and David said, "No, I know somebody who can," and he recommended me.
Oh my goodness. I
And
mean,
and
just even the names you're dropping, I mean, David Foster's known for being this magnificent,
um,
producer and,
and
and, and,
pianist,
and, and a musician, of course, yes, but
and, yeah, and so
phew.
so David Foster invited me to his house, and he said, "Okay, I heard that you play piano. Play for me." He said, "Play." He said, "Play for me," and then I played. I played in your own sweet way. I mean, he said, "Wow, I've always wanted to play like that."
What?
And I was like blown. I said, "David, come on, don't talk nonsense, man." He said, "No, no, no." He says, "I can play, but the way you playing it, that's the way I wanted to play." I was,
That's
I was,
incredible.
so I mean, it was incredible confirmation and sort of you know sort of passing down of a compliment
Yes, and just
that really, it's
affirmation
an
of
affirmation, yeah,
that
that affirmed so much about, I
what you're
mean,
doing.
my journey. And because I mean, as all musicians and a lot of jazz musicians and classical musicians, I mean,
Mm,
we put so much time into our practice,
mm,
our research, analysis, to
mm.
achieve certain levels of excellence in what we do, and then to get that kind of compliment, it really, I mean, brings home some satisfaction.
So you are our Quincy Jones.
Thank you, thank you.
Listen, I mean, just when I read about the kind of people you've worked with, I
Right.
mean, the list is like, but I mean, Rashid Lanie, you are not getting, the credit you deserve, considering
Thank you.
the what you've learned, who you've worked with, and how much work you've put in.
Right.
And like you just mentioned, that when a lot of the big stars that we admire uh, acknowledge you as your one of their peers
Right.
rather than someone down there who's up and coming or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But they give you that acknowledge because, for instance, I think about uh, the John Legends, Alicia Keys, the Black Eyed Peas, the Annie Watts, the Randy Breckers,
Wow. Yeah.
the Renee McLeans, the
Yes.
Eric Marienthal. Actually, you're gonna tell us about that.
That. Yes.
The
Yes.
Eric
Yes.
because you've done some
Yeah.
something you're releasing with him, and of course the Huma Sikelas, Bungiles,
Yes.
Jonathan
I mean,
Butlers, and
you. I mean, that is such a phenomenal story
mm,
about Brayu because Brayu. I mean, knowing Brayu when he first came back into South Africa, and when I was actually part of um, the South African Musicians Alliance, and the NZ
yes,
had asked me to sort of, assist Brayu to reacclimate back into the country,
mm,
and I was sort of, a representative of the Department of Arts and Culture at the time, doing that,
mm,
and it was a very different experience that when you asked me to join him when I was living in the US.
mm,
As a band member,
mm,
uh, and we toured. To all the most important jazz venues in the US, um, and at each of these venues, there were lines snaking around the buildings trying to get into, and packed. It was packed out.
wow,
My respect for Brayu. That's when I realized who Brayu was, because in South Africa it's so difficult. For us. To understand and appreciate what we have.
you are so right.
Yeah, yeah.
Until you go
I
outside,
can't tell you until you got.
then you
I,
realize how lucky and blessed we are
I'm,
as South Africans.
I'm telling you. That's the story of Brayu.
Mm,
Sis Miriam Makeba. My God, Sis Miriam is the legend. People have no idea
yeah,
what the incredible legend that this human being is.
yeah. And I'm sure you've got stories to tell in terms of just being with them in those places,
Yes.
and because we only know what they get to write about
Yeah.
but they're and I'm thinking of, for instance, Brahu was such a funny, naughty,
Uh,
talented man. You know, even my encounters with him and spending time with him, there are stories I could tell, but I can't. you
I,
know.
I know. Can I share a little secret with you
so
with
please,
Brayu?
so
We
please
we
share
born
one.
on the same
Share.
day.
Oh my
we
goodness!
we born on the same day, and you know what was? Even funnier,
Yeah.
when we would tour and our birthdays would happen. Brayu would never acknowledge it's his birthday too, because that
Oh
would
my goodness!
take away from your celebration, and I never minded that.
Yeah.
I learned when I was performing with, like really big name artists, that you have to let those artists swim.
Get their moment.
Yeah, get their moment and be in this in their sort of deserved attention and glory.
Yes.
And I really understood and respected that.
Your work, yes, it spans jazz, there's film scoring, there's these spiritual soundscapes. But so how when you approach your compositions,
Yeah.
how do you then cross these different worlds of yours? Or
Yeah.
is everything like project and brief driven, or?
I have to say that my schooling at the University of Southern California,
Mm,
specializing in film scoring, was one of the greatest educations, in music that I could have received. But it did start at at the University of Witwatersrand, and one of my orchestration teachers there was Professor Walter Money, the
mm,
Canadian who was nationalized. In South Africa. naturalized, in South Africa, sorry. And he happened to be also the orchestration teacher of Trevor Rabin. I don't know if you remember, Trevor Rabin. He was he's a South African who moved to the U.S. He lives in Hollywood as well,
Yeah.
and he's part of the band called Yes.
Okay.
But he was famous for a local band called Rabbit. I think it was Rabbit.
Rabbit. I
Yes.
think I remember
And
that.
so he also started with Professor Walter Money,
Okay.
and that's why he could make a transition into film scoring as well, even though he was a guitarist. Now it's sort of a rock, famous rock guitarist.
Mm.
And um, receiving that education first from Wits and then at the University of Southern California empowered me in ways that I could never imagine. Because some of my teachers were like world-class film scorers, from Elmer Bernstein, who did Magnificent Seven, Bill Conti, who did Rocky. John
Mm.
Williams, who did all the Spielberg films. These were my teachers. And so to have received that kind of education, and some of them have passed away now. And even the musical director of Judy Garland, Joe Harnell, was one of my teachers, and quite a few of them were New Yorkers, and that New York attitude that they brought to our education and mine in particular, I mean, was quite something, because they are no nonsense. Professionals straight down the line. You either do it or you
Mm.
don't. You either can or you can't. You can't. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
You had to really. Measure up like quickly.
Wow. And would you advise, you know, like young people today who want to get into this industry? They probably want to, be musicians and be stars or whatever, play an instrument or have a band and tour. That this film scoring thing is a thing.
It's a big thing.
Is because the names you're just rolling out
Yeah.
tells me, because these are people who are also making it. They may not obviously be mentioned as or trend, or so to speak,
Yeah.
but they are the business behind, and they are the people who are really making okay, coining it.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. And interestingly, a lot of the famous Hollywood filmmakers all come from jazz. Most of them are jazz musicians.
Yeah.
And they found that, which is sort of slowly moving into the
The,
economics of jazz.
yeah,
They
which is
found,
an important conversation.
yeah, they found that, once they had families, or and they had financial responsibilities, that jazz was not able to provide the income that was required to support their families, or deal with their financial responsibilities,
Yeah.
and they sought another way of actually um, being in music, but to
But
expand their ability to earn. Okay.
mm,
And so jazz education and the foundation of jazz education is, a phenomenal way of branching out into many other musics.
sure,
You know what I mean? And so,
it's a great
if you,
foundation to do
yes,
that.
exactly, because it is the foundation of popular music in
Mm,
many ways.
mm,
And if you bring in the element of blues as well. However, if young people, I would strongly recommend that young people who want to go into music, period, if they are open to studying jazz music, it will allow them to expand, in ways that they never expected.
expected.
And one of the suggestions I would make to jazz musicians,
Mm,
not to put themselves in a straitjacket, because it's very easy to become so precious about being a jazz musician, like you can be precious about being a classical musician.
mm-hmm.
One of the chances I had when I was at Wits University, I mean, they created these categories of serious music and light music, and jazz fell in the light music. And I used to have so many battles with my lecturers about what do you mean by light? What do you mean by serious? You know, if you look at a lot of jazz musicians today, technically, they are as good as any classical musician you can find on the planet right
Sure.
now. You know, and but I became very interested in the third stream concept of music teaching in the New England, conservatory, because that's where they brought together both classical, the best, of classical and jazz music, and they created a new stream called the third stream. And then for me, that meant that was acknowledgement and respect for both idioms. But then we had to go back to the economics. How does what I embrace in anything that I do allow me to survive, allow those that I love to survive? You know, does what I love or need allow me to support them and take care of my responsibilities?
Sure.
And if it doesn't, if there's a shortfall, I have to look beyond why there's a shortfall. Is it me? Is it my laziness, not stepping up and applying myself to, furthering my skills? Or is it the environment? And that's where the ecosystem comes in.
Uh-huh.
And what you are doing, Nothemba, and a few others in the country, in Cape Town, some of our critics, you are helping with that. You've helped with that ecosystem. But a very important part of that ecosystem, like venues, jazz venues, have dried up.
Yeah.
And so the buzz and that push to draw in more audiences to appreciate jazz have unfortunately been compromised.
Yes.
So the challenge is for us to build up the entire ecosystem. You know, how do we get the system from funding, government support? A promotion of jazz. In schools. Media with people like yourself, and then the musicians. How do they actually hold up the art form? Are they professional? Are they preparing arrangements for the music and not just reading from a real book and coming to when audiences go to performance, are they treated respectfully in terms of how well prepared they are for the audience?
And how important is relevance?
Pardon me?
How important is relevance
Yes.
to what the world is now?
Right. Relevance. Jazz is an American indigenous music. And so that's a combination of African and European cultures. Okay. However, funnily enough, South African, when you look at the South African history of jazz and how the parallel sort of development, even though a lot of it was influenced by Americans, one cannot deny the relevance of how and the impact that it has on a society. And the voices from the Skylarks, Manhattan Brothers, the impact that a lot of those individuals, Abdullah Ibrahim, Sis Miriam, Brahu, Kipi Moketsi. These people had powerful, impact on our consciousness as young people. That's why we wanted to emulate, their successes.
Sure.
And now
and celebrate it.
Yes, and now we're creating a legacy for the younger musicians to follow through. But there's one thing that I want to say, having spent a lot of time in the US, the level, of mentorship that takes place, from the elder musicians, and and the respect that the younger musicians have for the elder musicians that have made it. Now, making it is a very relative term, because if you talk to a pop musician, making it means you've sold 1 million records. You've sold 2 million, 27 million. You know what I mean? Like Nora Jones, 27 million singing sort of pop with a strong jazz influence. You know what I mean? Or Laufey. These are people that are sort of playing a lighter form of jazz, but it's jazz in many aspects nonetheless. And so then you get jazz musicians who've accomplished high levels of excellence in their playing, and yet they're not receiving the same kind of rewards financially
True.
from what they have, invested, their time in. And so making it, is
the relative
something,
term.
yeah,
Yeah, like you
it's something
say.
that we really, have to balance with, with a just, kind of attention and respect. Because, and then also you have jazz under apartheid, under oppression. How it was able to survive.
and and also produce such quality and such impactful messaging, and which became our jazz story, jazz culture,
Absolutely. It was because through the jazz, even though you felt oppressed, there was a freedom in the way you expressed.
Yes.
You could improvise and do things that, that did something to your spirit, that, that spoke of freedom. You know what I mean? And that's why jazz was such an incredible, they usually say that jazz is one of the most democratic art forms because everyone has a voice.
I always say that.
Well, there you go.
Listen, I asked you to tell me one of your favorite songs, and one of your favorite songs you said
Okay.
was. It's actually when I listen to it, and I remember, I'm like, oh my God, this reminds me of my university days. The 4 a.m.
Yeah,
the
4
heavy Hancock
Herbie
4 a.
Hancock. And Jaco Pastorius
And Jaco
and Harvey Mason.
Mm.
I was when
What
I
is-
heard
what i-
that
what is it
track,
about that song?
I was blown away because the 70s brought a whole new stream of of fusion jazz
Yeah.
into our consciousness, and bands like Heavy Weather, Joe Zawinul, the Weather Report, Chico Ria's and Stanley Clark's Light as a Feather. I mean, and then Herbie Hancock,
Yeah.
and so many other, Earth, Wind and Fire. All those groups from the 70s, had a huge impact on my jazz, growth and outlook.
Yeah.
But 4 a.m. I never heard 4 a.m. For the longest times because, when we think of Jaco Pastorius, you automatically think Weather Report. And then you think, Herbie Hancock, and Herbie Hancock was breaking out and breaking away from traditional jazz.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there were a lot of critics, of
Of
Herbie
course,
when he did that.
there's always same thing with Miles.
Same thing with Miles. Correct.
Mm.
And so when Herbie did Mr. Hands, he had a whole group of different artists that he featured, and he decided he was going to play with Jaco, with Jaco, and having been heavily influenced by Joe Zawinul's synthesizer playing and the incredible textures and timbres that he was able to create during performances was mind-blowing, And then to hear, 4 a.m. Herbie, doing that with these, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea Herbie could do that.
That song.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the playing, the
And I also like the different phases and waves that the song that music goes into.
goes through, right?
Exactly.
It really it's one of the most intelligently written and composed jazz music that I've heard. And when I listen, it gives me, every time I listen to it, the ingenuity, the creativity, the soloing, it's mind-blowing. Herbie, when I listen to that, it's like, that's my Herbie. Right there,
What about Eshatini now? Because that is new and ready for us to explore.
Okay, Eslatini was a composition that began at Wits University. It began as a composition
That long ago.
for marimbas.
Uh-huh.
And when I wrote it, I was trying to conjure up how am I going to get this performed live. I had a difficulty getting the marimba players that I wanted to get. So I said, maybe I should try to do it myself. And then I developed it and I started playing it myself.
Okay.
Um, to the point where I was like, this is going to be a piano. This is going to be a piano song. And as the years passed by, I mean, I was very lucky to be sitting in a plane one day, a charter plane, and a man came to sit next to me. This man was Ernie Watts.
How do you get so lucky?
I know. I mean, when he told me, I was like,
Oh
what?
my word.
You, Ernie Watts? He said, yeah. He looked at me and he smiled, you know. And we were going to the Aspen Jazz Festival in Colorado.
Sure. Wow.
And I said, oh my gosh. I said, Mr. Watts, would you please play on my first jazz album when I do it? He says, of course. He said, here's my card. He gave me he gave my card. He gave me his card and he said, call me. I mean, on this number, and then we can talk. And that's
Fantastic.
basically the genesis of how Ernie Watts. I mean, when I eventually was ready to call him, he was on tour with the Rolling Stones. He was playing for the Rolling Stones, and his manager Nancy Mayer. When I told her who I was, she was like, "I'm not sure that Mr. Watts would want to do this, but I'll give him a call and see what he says." And then she called him. The following day, she called me back. She said, "You were very lucky." He agreed. He remembered you,
Yeah.
and he said he'd record in the album. I mean, how about that?
Fantastic.
That was such
Yeah.
an incredible.
Tell me about the new project. You've got Bagiti Kumalo on it.
Okay, the new project is called Hater, and then, when I wrote the music, it made me it definitely had the feeling of saying hello to the world. You know what I mean? And I said, so what's the South African expression that I could use to express that hello? And it was Hater.
Ada?
Yeah. And so basically, again, I mean, I was playing at the Oklahoma Jazz Festival with a group called Native Vibe that I was playing with some of musicians from Berkeley School of Music, and we were sharing stage with Eric Mariantel's band, and that's where I met Eric. And
And how he
Eric loved
became part of this project as well.
yeah, and that's why Eric loved our band, and we met and we spoke, and I also invited him, and he said, yeah, just call me, I mean, anytime, and that's how it happened. I sent him the music, like I did with Ernie Watts.
Yeah.
They said, first send us the music, let's listen, and
Yes.
when they listen to the music, yeah, I want to do this,
Wow.
So
Fantastic.
that's how that happened.
So when you do eventually get your stuff sorted out
Yeah.
in the US and you come back home,
Yeah.
what do you have in mind in terms of what you got? What you're going to
When I do come back,
do?
I mean, I really feel that there's, I mean, such a strong need for, again, like I was talking about, mentorship.
Yeah.
And I'm, I mean, even through working with Mandla Dube, who's the
Director of
that I've
Kalushi.
been working with for a long time. He also happens. I'm sorry to push the Aries line. He's also an Aries, but we have a strong need to empower our youth and to pass
In fact,
down.
you're working with him on the Miriam Makeba story.
Yeah, I'm working with him right now on that documentary.
Yeah.
And we're also working on two other projects called the Battle of Isandlwana,
Yes.
and also Yasuke, which is the story of the first black samurai. And so
So there's lots
yeah, there's
for you to do.
yeah, there's a lot for me to.
But
so,
I love the mentorship.
yeah,
element.
and I know there's all kinds of stories about how the youth are and how they're not. But my experience with, I mean, some of the youth, in fact, I mean, I was at First University like a week ago, and we were doing a workshop on Kalushi, the Story of Solomon
Yes.
Mahlangu, and they were, I mean, the people were so excited. They watched the movie and they wanted to meet everybody. But
The youth are so hungry.
Yes, and I mean, I was,
people are missing that.
and I saw, I mean, how hungry they were and how they wanted to learn. I mean, how did you do this? How did you do that? And so, I mean, and so, I mean, I've shared my phone number. I tell them, please call me if you need, I mean, any advice or suggestions of how to do this or in
Yeah.
the direction. And a lot of them are dealing with issues of um, the future.
Yeah.
I mean, how will with what I'm doing right now? How will I be able to succeed in life with what I'm doing? And to see, the people at one stage, Paul to see, I
Yeah.
mean, and Mandla and myself uh, and Tabo Rametsi, who played the role of Kalushi.
Yes.
I mean, we've traveled, some of us longer than others, and to then turn back and say, come,
Yeah,
follow.
and I think it's important to also just share the journey
Yes,
of how you got here,
yes.
because a lot of people look at the outcomes, and they don't know what it took for them for that to happen. And this mentorship thing is, it's important to share that, look, I didn't wake up one day and, hey, I was doing movies and playing with big stages with, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the
Because
thing is,
sometimes there's a, a sort of an attitude of, it makes it look so easy. I can do this in 2 minutes.
oh my gosh, no, it's,
Mm,
nothing that anybody who can show they can do something
yeah,
that's ever easy.
yeah,
And it behooves you to actually approach, whoever succeeded in that
sure,
path to, ask questions about the journey, as you say,
yeah.
because once you understand parts of that journey, and you'll understand better what kind of commitment you want to give to that.
Yeah.
Journey.
And I think, even just with you sharing your story so far, that relationships
Yes.
and your attitude and how you engage with other people becomes so important.
Oh my gosh! You've just hit. Like almost all the important buttons there. Attitude. Attitude is
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
When I was playing with Randy Brecker. Of course, I'm like in awe. With this.
Sure.
I'm playing with this giant. I'm a jazz giant, and
Mm.
I could not believe how incredibly humble
Yeah.
and giving. He was. You know what I mean? And you would talk of his brother as Brother Mike. Says,
Mm.
do you know Brother Mike? Brother Mike was in South Africa, and
Yeah.
he was with Paul Simon, and I was like, wow, this is Randy,
Yeah.
and so this kind of attitude, made not only opened my heart to him, but anything I could ask him, he would be happy to share with me, and
And you're so right, because I've also found that, when I'm approaching
yes,
musicians and artists and people in the arts, for, I'd like to talk to you on my show, some of these big names,
uh,
the managers are the no no the
the
gatekeepers. But
gatekeepers.
when you talk to the artists in person, they also respond to how you approach them. And
Abso-
then they are like, but of course, let's do this.
oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Mm.
Because the truth is, everybody needs respect and acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter
Absolutely.
who you are, whether you're a street sweeper, whether you're the
Exactly.
president or
Mm.
king of. If you don't acknowledge or accord, that
Mm.
person with, with some uh, um, civility and respect, they will not return it.
Absolutely.
Click. And so a lot of the youth, people that come to me,
Mm.
and that ask me questions, I can see, because I know I was there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was there,
And then you'll
and so
say,
I immediately I see how important it is for me to respond, because sometimes I don't even see what I have, kind of, or
yeah.
whatever. So I'm like, "Are you sure you want to ask me? Am I qualified?" I know it sounds silly, but it's the truth.
True.
And then I'm saying, okay, okay, I'll give them options, because I always believe that, in providing options for people, it's important for them to choose.
To decide,
Yeah, so that,
because it's their journey.
yeah, it's their journey.
We have to wrap it up. I want
Oh,
to thank you so very much for sharing I know it's just a little bit of your story
Oh my
because
gosh.
your story is, magnificent. I hope you write a book one day
Oh,
about your story.
yeah, I'll
I
definitely
hope you
thank
write
you.
a book.
Thank you so much.
Rashid Lanie, listen, we can't wait for you to fully come back home
Okay,
and continue your contribution into the arts, and
absolutely.
especially for the youth who look up to you and learn so much from you, and you to share your story.
Thank you so much, Nothemba.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Come for the jazz and stay for the good times
On Jazz and Beyond with Nothemba Madumo.
on 702 and Cape Talk.